You know what society does to people who skip family gatherings? There's a specific kind of punishment reserved for those who choose peace over performance, and it's not what you think.
December hits. 4 events in 10 days. Christmas Eve at your parents', Christmas Day at your in-laws', the annual family brunch, New Year's at your aunt's house. You look at your calendar and feel your chest tighten. You attend 1, maybe 2. You're strategic about it, showing up where it matters most, preserving energy for what you can genuinely handle. At the single gathering you attend, it starts. "We never see you anymore." Your uncle corners you by the dessert table. "Are you doing okay? You seem distant." Your mother pulls you aside. "People are asking about you. They think you're depressed." You came. You showed up. You're literally standing there, present and polite. But because you didn't attend all 4 events, your mental health is now under investigation. The others, who demand your presence at 4 events in 10 days, who expect you to exhaust yourself performing family connection, they're the ones expressing concern about your well-being. The irony would be funny if it wasn't so suffocating. Your carefully managed energy, your reasonable boundaries, your strategic presence gets reframed as antisocial behavior requiring intervention. Then comes the social media surveillance. You skip the big family reunion in July. You don't post about it, don't explain your absence, just quietly don't attend. 2 days later, your cousin posts the group photo. Big family shot, everyone smiling, caption, "Missing a few faces, but family is everything." You're publicly marked absent. The comments start immediately. "Where were you? Hope everything's okay. We missed you." Your mother calls within hours. "People are asking if you're mad at the family. What should I tell them?" Your private decision to stay home, to rest, to choose solitude over obligation has become a public spectacle requiring explanation and defense. They've turned your absence into content, your boundary into a conversation, your peace into their concern. And suddenly, you're not someone who made a choice about how to spend your time. You're someone who needs to be monitored, discussed, worried about, and ultimately brought back in line. Here's what nobody tells you about avoiding family events. Society doesn't just notice your absence, it punishes it. And I'm not talking about hurt feelings or disappointed relatives. I'm talking about something far more insidious, the systematic reframing of your boundaries as pathology, your self-preservation as selfishness, your peace as a problem that needs solving. The punishment is designed to look like care. No one says we're excluding you because you won't perform family devotion on our terms. Instead, they say we're worried about you. They frame your boundary setting as a cry for help. They turn your intentional absence into evidence of decline. The language of concern becomes a weapon of conformity. And it's so effective because it's so hard to defend against. How do you argue with people who claim they're just worried? How do you push back against surveillance disguised as love?
But here's what's actually happening. When you skip the 4th family event in 10 days, when you choose rest over obligation, when you show up selectively instead of universally, you're threatening something fundamental. Not your family's happiness, not even their feelings, really. You're threatening the entire social contract that says family obligations override personal well-being, that blood relation creates unlimited claim on your time and energy, that good people sacrifice their peace to maintain connection.
And here's where it gets darker. The interrogation you face at the one event you do attend isn't random, it's enforcement. They're not actually asking if you're okay, they're testing whether your boundaries are temporary and understandable or permanent and concerning. They're auditing your absence to determine if you've earned it through legitimate suffering or if you're just choosing yourself over them. Because if you can be absent and fine, content and healthy, peaceful in your solitude, that breaks the entire narrative they've built about family being everything. Watch what happens when you try to explain, I needed rest. They hear, I don't value family. I can only handle one event. They hear, you're not worth the effort. I'm an introvert who needs recovery time. They hear, I think I'm too good for family gatherings. Your clear communication gets translated through a filter that can only interpret boundaries as rejection, self-care as selfishness, limits as lack of love. They've created a system where the only acceptable answer to "why weren't you there?" is proof of suffering, illness, crisis, emergency. Anything less, and your absence becomes evidence of moral failure. There's a concept psychologists call relational obligation bias, the assumption that family relationships should supersede individual needs, and that prioritizing yourself over family connection indicates dysfunction. It's deeply embedded in how we're taught to think about family. The person who shows up exhausted, resentful, depleted to every gathering is praised for their commitment. The person who shows up rested, genuine, selectively, is questioned for their absence. We've built entire value systems around self-destruction in the name of family, and anyone who refuses to destroy themselves becomes a problem that needs correction.
But here's the part they don't want you to know. Your selective presence, your strategic absence, your refusal to exhaust yourself maintaining connections that drain you, that's not pathology, that's clarity. And clarity is dangerous to systems built on everyone's obligatory participation. When you demonstrate that you can skip the family reunion and be fine, that you can spend Christmas alone and feel peaceful, that you can choose rest over performance and come out healthier, you're providing living proof that the entire structure is optional. And that terrifies the people who've sacrificed their peace to maintain it.
Here's what's really happening in those concerned conversations, those worried phone calls, that social media surveillance. They're not afraid you're depressed. They're afraid you're free. Free from the guilt that keeps them showing up exhausted. Free from the obligation that keeps them performing connection they don't feel. Free from the social contract that says family events are mandatory regardless of cost to your well-being. Your freedom reveals their captivity, and they can't let that revelation stand unchallenged. Society has convinced us that family connection requires constant availability, that love means unlimited access, that good people prioritize family presence over personal peace, and anyone who challenges this narrative by being selectively present and genuinely content gets pathologized into submission. They call it concern while punishing your boundaries. They call it care while demanding your exhaustion. They call it family while requiring your captivity. The system runs on everyone's participation, and your refusal to participate threatens to expose the whole thing as optional. This is why the punishment escalates the more content you become. If you skipped events and seemed miserable about it, they'd leave you alone eventually. Your suffering would confirm their narrative, that absence from family creates unhappiness, that choosing solitude leads to isolation and regret, that people need constant family connection to thrive. But when you skip events and seem fine, when you post about your quiet weekend, when you show up to the one gathering relaxed and energized, when you clearly demonstrate that absence improved rather than diminished your well-being, that's when the real surveillance begins. Because now you're not just absent, you're proof that their exhaustion is a choice they're making, not a requirement of family love. And that realization is unbearable to people who've sacrificed years of peace maintaining connections that deplete them. Your contentment in solitude exposes their resentment in obligation. Your energy from selective presence highlights their depletion from universal attendance. You become a mirror reflecting everything they've given up, and mirrors get smashed when the reflection is too painful to face.
Here's what's really happening in those concerned conversations, those worried phone calls, that social media surveillance. They're not afraid you're depressed. They're afraid you're free.
Free from the guilt that keeps them showing up exhausted to their fourth family event in 10 days. Free from the obligation that keeps them performing connection they don't feel, smiling through gatherings that drain them, pretending enthusiasm for relationships maintained purely through routine rather than genuine desire. Free from the social contract that says family events are mandatory regardless of cost to your well-being, that blood relation creates unlimited claim on your time and energy, that good people sacrifice their peace to maintain the appearance of close family bonds. Your freedom reveals their captivity, and they can't let that revelation stand unchallenged, because if they acknowledge your peace is real, your contentment genuine, your selective presence healthier than their universal attendance, then they have to confront the possibility that they've been destroying themselves for nothing, that every exhausted Christmas, every resentful Thanksgiving, every depleting family reunion they forced themselves to attend while screaming internally could have been optional, that the guilt they feel when they want to stay home isn't moral truth but social conditioning, that the shame they experience when they imagine declining is manufactured, not inherent. Your existence as someone who opts out and thrives dismantles the entire framework that's kept them trapped, so they pathologize you instead. They turn your freedom into dysfunction, your peace into concerning isolation, your boundaries into evidence of antisocial behavior. Because if you're broken, they're fine. If you're the problem, the system works. If you need intervention, their exhaustion is noble sacrifice rather than unnecessary captivity. So, if you're someone who attends one family event out of 4, who skips the reunion to stay home and rest, who chooses solitude over obligation and finds peace there, know this: the surveillance will continue. The concerned comments under your social media posts about quiet weekends, the worried interrogations at the single gathering you do attend, the public marking of your absence in family photos with captions about missing faces, the phone calls from relatives you barely know asking if everything's okay, the reframing of your boundaries as dysfunction, your self-preservation as selfishness, your strategic presence as antisocial withdrawal. They won't stop pathologizing your peace because your peace threatens their entire framework for understanding family obligation. The system they've built requires everyone's participation to function. It needs you exhausted at 4 events in 10 days to validate their exhaustion at 4 events in 10 days. It needs you guilty about declining to justify their guilt about wanting to decline. It needs you performing family devotion you don't feel to mirror their performance of family devotion they don't feel. When you break that mirror by actually choosing yourself, by actually honoring your limits, by actually protecting your peace, even when it means disappointing people, you become dangerous. Not to individual family members, really, to the entire structure of obligatory connection that holds families together through guilt rather than genuine desire. And structures fight back when threatened. They don't announce themselves as structures or admit they're fighting. They disguise enforcement as concern, punishment as care, control as love. They make you the problem so the system stays intact. I know that doesn't make it easier. The guilt is real. The internalized voice that says good people show up, that family comes first, that your boundaries make you selfish. The judgment is real. The comments, the concerned looks, the conversations about you happening in group chats you're not part of. The isolation of being the only one who opts out while everyone else performs connection is real and sometimes deeply painful. You'll watch your siblings exhaust themselves attending everything, praised for their commitment, while you're questioned for your absence. You'll see cousins post about family being everything, while quietly resenting every obligation they can't escape. You'll hear relatives frame your boundaries as personal rejection, while demanding unlimited access to your time and energy. The punishment isn't subtle, and it isn't temporary.
It's sustained, systematic, and designed to break you back into compliance. But your selective presence, your strategic boundaries, your refusal to destroy yourself maintaining relationships that cost you your peace, that's not antisocial behavior, that's freedom. And freedom always threatens systems built on everyone's obligatory captivity. Stay free, not because they'll stop punishing you. They won't. The surveillance will continue. The pathologizing will persist. The reframing of your peace as concerning isolation will be a constant background hum in every family interaction. Stay free because you've discovered something they're terrified to acknowledge. That family love doesn't require your exhaustion. That connection doesn't demand your constant availability. And that the people who truly value you will respect the boundaries that protect your peace rather than weaponizing concern to demolish them. Let them keep their surveillance, their concerned phone calls, their social media marking of your absence, their interrogations disguised as care. You keep your freedom, keep your energy, keep your peace. Keep the quiet knowledge that obligation without joy isn't connection, it's performance. And you've stopped performing.